All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this special live edition of Crushing Land. We're happy to be here with you today, and we're going to be answering your contest entry questions here on this episode. So, for those of you who have joined our contest over the last number of weeks, one of the things that was an option for you was to be able to post questions that we said we would answer. And rather than just sending you an email with those answers, we decided that what we were going to do is we were going to come on live here. I've got a list of them here, and we're going to spend the next little bit of time together, and we're going to answer your land investing questions. So I want to thank everybody first off that joined in and decided to be part of this contest and decided to enter these questions and all of that. And so we're happy to be here with you now and doing that. And so we're just going to kind of jump into it. We're going to take a little bit of time. We're going to go down this list here, and I don't have names of people, but I have your locations. So I'll just say a user from wherever, or an entry from wherever you happen to be, and we'll take some time to go over these questions. So again, thank you for participating. Thank you for being part of this, and let's jump into it. So the first question that came in, contest entry, was from Lumberton, North Carolina, and the question was: Is learning how to sell hard? Is learning how to sell hard? And the answer to that, the simple answer to that is no, it's not hard. But obviously, it's something that you do need to learn how to do. It's just like anything else, right? When you start something new, you don't know anything about it, and you have to educate yourself. And so that's where it comes in. Getting the right foundation, getting the right education, getting the right information, all of that, and putting that into play is the key. And then from there, it's obviously learning and growing and getting more information and being able to grow further. So it's just like any other business, right? You don't start at the top, you work your way up. But there are tools, there are resources out there that can help you with that. We have on our YouTube channel, we have a free course that's out there that can help you get that start going. So we recommend that you check that out. So thank you for your question. And moving on to the next one. Portland, Oregon. Do we use our own money to purchase our first land investment? Great question. And the answer to that is simply, it depends. You do not need to. It may make sense to. If you have capital and it's a really great deal, it may make sense to. But if you don't have the funds, if you don't have the money, if anything like that, then no, you do not need to use your own money. And again, in our free land investing course on YouTube, I'm looking at it right now, video number 9. Check that one out. Video number 9. You do not need money to close the deal. So check out that video in our course. We'll put the link in there for you, but that video will explain that to you better. So, and again, we break down when it makes sense to and when it doesn't and things like that. But again, if you do not have the capital, if you do not have the funds, you do not need them to close the deal. So great question. It's a question that we get asked a lot. In fact, I think some of the others on here are very similar to that. Okay, from Hesperia, I don't know if I'm saying that right, California. When first looking at land to buy, what are key tips to know what to look for? Great question, and one that so many people mess up. So there are certain things that you need to look for, and again, we go over that in the free course there, so you're going to keep hearing me talk about that on YouTube. But getting into that, one of the things obviously is you want to be looking at the location, you want to be looking at what the growth rate is, you want to be looking at what's for sale and what has sold in that area, and things like that to make sure that it is an area that is investable. It's not all that difficult to do this, and we give you those steps and we break that down for you and help you with that. But being able to do that, there are a few different things. And so many people do that wrong because they just look at the country and they're basically like, well, you can invest anywhere because they see land for sale or land that's sold. But that's not really true. I mean, you can do it to some degree, but to be really successful, there are certain things to look for. And it's a great question because so many overlook that. So very good. Thank you for contributing. Okay, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Is this a type of land sale to developers for housing developments or retail strips? So the answer to that is, again, it depends. Not so much retail strips. I mean, if you want to do some commercial land, we don't do a whole lot of that. We do some, and we've done some over the years. The vast majority of our deals, though, are residential properties. We do sell a lot to developers, we sell a lot to builders, but we also sell a lot to just individuals that are using it for whatever reason that it may be. So it isn't solely that, but it is obviously a strategy that we do employ, more the developers, the builder side of things. But that's not the only thing. And if you're looking at only one strategy, I talked about this in a crushing land not that long ago. If you're looking at only a single strategy, you're leaving so many deals on the table. So don't recommend doing that. But again, it is a strategy that we do employ in amongst other things. All right, let's see here. Norwich, Connecticut asked me where I'm based out of. That really doesn't have any bearing on land investment. But the only reason that I am going to answer that question is because I grew up just north of Norwich, Connecticut. I'm actually from Killingly, Connecticut, which is only about 20 minutes away from Norwich. So when I saw it pop up there and ask that question, I thought it was funny. And I just wanted to answer it because of how close it was. So Norwich, Connecticut, welcome. Yeah, you're back in my old stomping grounds, my old hometown area. I was down in Norwich all the time for different things. And so I just wanted to answer that question. But yeah, I grew up about 20 minutes north of there. I now live in North Carolina. All right, Windber, Pennsylvania. What's the first thing you need to know to get started? So the first thing obviously is identifying an area, right? You need to get a foundation and you need to identify an area as to where you're going to invest. Everything after that falls into place as we're going along, but you need to identify that area first. You need to identify where you're going to invest. And it doesn't have to be a single area. It can be multiple. We've worked in multiples over years. There's plenty of different ones. But again, identifying a investable area is highly, highly, highly important. So something that you want to look at, and again, something that we break down in our free course. So check that out. Again, we'll put the link in the comments for you guys there. It's right here on YouTube, able for you to watch that at your convenience. Okay, this one just says United States, so I don't know, just somewhere in the country. What made you want to do a land business job? Very good question. I was actually in real estate investing for a number of years, and I actually added land to supplement my house flipping business. And so when we got involved, we said, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to add something else in, another nuance, another niche. And after 1 year of doing land, we walked away and said, we're never doing houses again. It was doing the same profits. It was the same type of deals. It was a lot easier, though, a lot less competition, a lot less moving parts, a lot of different things that I talk about in the free course. Again, I'll tell you to check that out because I talk about why land in the first video. And then the second land, we talk about myths of land investing. And in the third video, the benefits of land investing. So you check those out. You'll get a lot more information about that. But again, just something that I was involved in houses and I was doing other things. My father had done land years earlier, and I said, you know what? We talked together and we said we're going to add this in as an additional piece. And from there, that was in 2011. Within a year, we moved on, and we've not done a house deal since. In the last 14 years, it's been land only. All right. Let's see here. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Can this business model be applied or modified for different states due to their respective laws? Yes, absolutely. We've worked with people that's doing deals in every single state. There's not a huge lot of modifications. There's a few different things that do come into play that we help you to identify and walk through. I personally, you said Fort Lauderdale, and if that's where you're looking to work, I personally have done numerous deals in the state of Florida, and a lot of people have. It's one of the easier states to invest in because of being investor friendly. But again, there's not a huge bunch of nuances. It's just different things that you need to learn. And part of it also is realizing that this is land. A lot of the laws that are in place have to deal with dwelling, single family, owner occupied, things like that. We are not doing that. We're in vacant land space. And so it does have a lot of differences going along as to what actually is out there as far as rules and regulations on it. But yes, completely doable in every single state. Okay. Again, United States only. It says, how long before I get the hang of selling land? So honestly, that depends solely on you. It depends on how much you put into it. It depends on how invested you are. It depends on how much time and effort you put in, all of these different things. I have personally worked with people that were running six-figure land investing companies within just a few months. Within just a few, and by a few months, I mean 5, 6, 7 months. So within less than a year, they were running six-figure profitable companies in land investing because they jumped in and they did it, things like that. Other people, it takes them longer. They're a little bit more reserved. They just hold back a little bit more. So it really just depends on your personality, how much you put in, and how much you get out of your own way. That's a big one too. We tell people all the time. People just get so hung up on what they don't know, and giving and fear and all of these things and anxieties, and you can't do that. And if you avoid those things, if you just jump in and go with it, then you could easily get the hang of it very quickly. We've had very successful students that have done that. You could be the same, but again, it's more about what you put in and also what you let go of to be successful. All right, from Paramount, California. What can you do with the land if there's extra acreage available and in the same property? Okay, so if there's extra acreage, you have a few different things that you could do. Obviously, you could split it, you could subdivide it because of that, you could entitle it, you could do a few different things. You could sell it as is, as a larger property, and then somebody else could do that. So you have a few different options there. Obviously, you're adding value, but you're putting a little bit more work into it. So a lot of it just depends on how comfortable you are doing that. Now, that's something that we do train people on. We talk about subdividing, we talk about entitlement, things like that. But again, if you're not 100% confident in that and things like that, then one thing that you obviously can do is you just have a better property, and that's worth more because of that. So again, something that you can get done there, and that you can reach out for, and learning and things like that as you're going along. Or again, if it's not something you're comfortable with, then you can simply just sell it as is, and obviously use that as a marketing piece, realizing, hey, this can be done, and let somebody else do it. All right. Maple Grove, Minnesota. How can I learn more? Well, we've got a lot of different options available to you. The first thing that we would recommend is that you go to YouTube and you check out our free land investing course. It's a great place to start. From there, if you have questions for us, if you want to know about other things, if you want to know about higher level, whatever it may be, feel free to give us a call, 980-357-4545. We can go over everything with you. We have all different levels of people that we work with, all different programs, all different things. So we're happy to discuss anything with you that could help you. But again, getting started, getting out there, getting some of that free education that we've put out there, highly important. So we recommend that you check that out. Katy, Texas. Where do I start to understand the value of land? So the value of land is the same as the value of a house. It's not, it's not the same as in it's equal, but it's the same as in it's done the same way. Right? So what land sells for in an area is called a comp, right? It's comparable sale. And that is the same for what the land around it would be worth based on that. It's the same as a house. You've got a house on a street. It's 3 bedrooms. It's 2 baths. It's 1,500 square feet. Well, the house 3 doors down is worth around the same amount. Obviously there could be some changes based on what actually is there, but generally speaking, it's called a comparable sale. We do the same thing with land. You have an acre of land here, half an acre away on the same road, another half acre of land, they're worth comparable. So you can figure out the value the exact same way that you value houses. All right, I'm sorry, I got my tablet here, so I'm picking it up and reading. I got a list of these that have come in from all of you as you've submitted them. So I'm just kind of going along as we're going along here. So first off, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What advice do you have for people just starting to look into selling land? Well, we already talked about that. We have a lot of free options available for you. Go check that out. Our YouTube course is the first one that we would recommend. It's out there. It's available. You don't have to give any information, nothing like that. Go to the free land investing course right on our YouTube site. Put that information, go check out that information, and then go from there. And again, reach out to us, set up a strategy call, discuss where you want to go, and we'll be happy to help you. 980-357-4545. Have a conversation with us, and we can help you get started in your land investing business. All right, Elmira, New York. Is it easy to start with a small amount of money? So what I'll say there is it is and it isn't. It is in the fact that you do not need money to get the deals done. You do not need money to get the deals done. There's transactional funding. There's other things that we talk about. Again, that's in our free course. That's one of the videos out there, video 8 or 9, that we specifically talk about that. But you do need some money in order to market, right? You have to be able to reach these people. So that's where having some money comes into play. Now, you did say small amount, so obviously you have some. So if you have some money, you can use it in order to reaching out to these people. You can use other means to close the deals, obviously build up your capital and grow from there. So it is possible, and a lot of people do start with smaller amounts. In fact, the vast majority of people that start in this are using these strategies because they just don't have the money to tie up yet, and then they grow it as they go. Chicago, Illinois. Is this opportunity appropriate for people who are just getting their start in land investments, or would they have to have a basic understanding already? No. The whole point of this is to help you get a basic understanding. That's what we're doing here. So our free land investing course is to help you get a basic understanding and then go from there in order to obviously become the expert in the field after time, right? So you just keep going with it. You grow as you go. And then eventually, you'll become an expert in it if you keep doing it. And what I'll say to that is, obviously, we all start from somewhere. We all start from zero. We know nobody came into this sitting there and saying, well, I know everything, or nobody does, right? We all start from the same point. We all start knowing absolutely nothing about it, wherever that may be, whenever that may be. But we all started from there. And so, yes, you do not need to have experience. Nobody has experience when they first start in any business, right? You have to learn it as you go, and that's the important thing to do. All right, let's see here. Tulsa, Oklahoma. What is the most helpful thing you learned about investing in land? Well, it's an interesting question. I will say there's a few different things that are important. One is obviously not taking on everything yourself. You're going to be able to do more as you outsource things, even if it's simple things, then we help you to do that because there's plenty of things that you could push off that really, some of them you can even do for free and push off, and it's really not that difficult. So you can do that. Another thing that I would definitely recommend is obviously education. You need to educate yourself and not try to figure it out yourself. There's plenty of things out there to go figure it out yourself like these, but you're going to spend hours and hours and hours and hours of time and effort and money and all these different things to do it instead of just getting properly educated from the beginning. Networking, like in our Facebook group and others, asking others questions, all of those things, having that team around you to help you. All of those things are very, very, very important. And I would say the biggest thing that I would say that's important that I tell people is you need to shut off all the noise around you because there's so much fear, there's so much doubt, there's so much confusion, and you're going to hear it from your own mind, and your own people, your own self is going to be saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. And you're going to be scaring yourself. And of course, you're going to hear it from naysayers and everyone else like that. So you need to be able to shut that off in order to get started. And anybody that's been successful in becoming an entrepreneur, becoming an investor, anything like that, they have been able to do that successfully, right? They need to be able to shut that off. They need to be able to move on from what others are doing, and then they plow forward, and they obviously achieve success because of it. It's not the way that we're trained. It's not the way that we're indoctrinated to do things, right? So you have to be able to kind of go against the current and be okay with that, and you'll have success from doing that. So that's probably the biggest thing that I would say. Reno, Nevada, do you have to have a lot of money to buy land? I just spoke about that from somebody else. And also Atlanta, what amount of money I need to get into real estate again? I just spoke about that. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, can anyone do this? In reality, yes. Most, I shouldn't say anyone, most can do this. I mean, you do have to be of legal age, obviously, to do it, or have means to people that can work with it. You have to be able to be competent with it. You have to obviously have, be able to put forth some effort and time. So if you have a little bit of drive to be able to do that, if you have a little bit of money to be able to do some marketing, if you have the legal circumstances to be able to do it, that doesn't even mean an American citizen. You can do this from anywhere, but if you have those pieces, then yes, anybody can do this. But again, you need to have those pieces in place. All right, Akron, Ohio. How much money does it take to get started? I already discussed that. Somerville, Massachusetts. What level of savings do you expect someone to have to participate? Okay, so savings isn't really important in this because you do not need capital to buy. What you do need is some sort of disposable income, investable income. It doesn't have to be a huge amount, but some sort that you can spend some money on marketing. It doesn't have to be like I'm marketing. Some people out there are talking about marketing 10, 20, 30,000 pieces of mail a month, or thousands of text messages each and every day, or nothing like that. It doesn't have to be that, but you do have to have some sort of income that you can use in order to fund that marketing. But to get the deals done, as mentioned, you do not need capital. There's ways around that. And so you don't need like to have a bunch in savings in order to be able to do this, but you do need to have some sort of money, some sort of income that you can use in order to use that money to get the business going. Chillicothe, Ohio. Any signs to look for to tell if the market is going up or down? Yes, absolutely. Obviously, pricing is huge. I mean, if you see prices going up, the market's going up. If you see prices going down, prices are going down. Another one, are people moving in or out, right? Obviously, if the area is losing people and they're continuing to vacate the area, then generally that's a sign that the market's going down because there's not going to be buyers. There'll be some, but there's not going to be the level of buyers there, the demand in order to keep the market up. So it's just the normal signs, just like anything else in real estate. Obviously, you're looking at pricing, looking at the trends. Interest rates have some bearing. That's more on houses and things like that to slow things down. But again, looking at the normal signs that are out there to see what's going on. And every market's different. You know, the entire country right now is not in a downturn. Some areas are still very hot. Some are cooling off. There's a lot of different things going on. So you need to look at it case by case. Somebody just asked if this is actually live. Yes, it's actually live. It says right on it. It says right there, the word live. Let's see. What is Greensburg, Pennsylvania? What is the best way to get started in buying land? Well, the best way, in my opinion, is obviously varies for each person, but the best way, in my opinion, is to figure out what you're going to do, get some education, and probably start with simple double closing deals. We talk about that in crushing lands, things like that, but that's basically buying and selling property at the exact same time because you're not tying up capital. You can use transactional funding. You can use somebody else's money. You can make some profit doing that at the exact same time, build up your capital, and then go from there. So that's the strategy that we still use. Don't get me wrong, on a lot of deals that we do. And a lot of our students, that's where they start, and a lot of them stay in there for a long time because it's just quick turning over of money and being able to continue going. So that's a great place to start. Norcross, Georgia, what are some of your tips for beginners? Again, take advantage of the free resources, understand what's going on, look at the information that's out there, take that in. Like I mentioned, our free YouTube course, look at that and be able to use that information in order to level yourself up. That's the key, right? It's just like anything else. Any other business, you need to learn how to do it, you need to educate yourself. Every business, that's true, right? Every single business out there. So this is no different. And so that's what you need to do as a beginner in order to do it. And again, the other key is just forget the naysayers, forget the noise, plow in, make a decision and say, this is what I'm going to do, and then do this. Is it very expensive to buy land? So that's a very interesting question. A lot of people think that it is, but there's a lot of different pricing out there, a lot of different properties out there. So we've done deals that we've purchased the properties for well over 6 figures. So that seems very expensive to a lot of people. But 2 deals that we just did recently, bought one for $500, sold it for $9,000, bought one for $1,000, sold it for $9,500. So in both of those cases, we're talking about $8,500 in profit on both, with only $1,500 tied up. So there's plenty of those smaller deals that are out there as well that a lot of people, when they're beginning, will jump into because they're plentiful. There's tons of them out there, and obviously they're not feeling too anxious over the risk because there really isn't any risk, and they're not tying up a whole lot of money. So property values, we've bought properties for as low as $10, $20. I mean, obviously those are very cheap properties or ones people don't want to get rid of, $50, $100, a couple $100, and then we end up selling them, starting, we did a lot of deals years ago where we were buying them for $100 and selling them or $200 and selling them for $2,500, $3,000. There's still a ton of those out there. So you do not need to focus on expensive properties. Obviously, you can level up as you go. But again, a great way to get started is some of these smaller deals, getting an infusion in capital, building this up, building your confidence, and then going from there. And I actually worked with a student, just to help with this really quick. This is a few years back. They were so paranoid about this, and they were like so worried about losing their money. And basically, I just dumped them into small deals. And I said, well, you just need to build up your confidence. And so they were out there and they're buying all these cheap properties for $50, $100 and selling them for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. But you know what? They did a ton of those deals and they felt great about it. And all of a sudden, they weren't scared about a $100,000 deal because they realized it was just adding a number to it. So it's a great way to start, especially if you don't have money, to build confidence, to help yourself see this is what is really possible. All right, how long is the training course? That's from Maple Heights, Ohio. How long is the training course? So that's for the contest, Land Riches Blueprint course that we're giving away. It's a go at your own pace course. So it's a home study course. You go at your own pace. You can go through it. It's a number of hours, dozens of hours worth of information, but you can go at your own pace. You can take that in a matter of weeks. You can take it in a matter of months. You can do it however you want. What we recommend that people do that are taking that is obviously start at the beginning and implement the stuff at the beginning, because the stuff that's in lesson 5, you don't need right now. You need the stuff in lesson 1. So take in lesson 1, take in that information, and then with that information, now obviously apply it, and then you move on and you start going into the next step. So you start working down the line. So it is dozens of hours worth of information, but you can start implementing the information right from the beginning without a whole lot of time involved. And again, as mentioned, it is go at your own pace. So it is home study. It is for you to use as you need. So again, so we thank everybody for submitting these questions for our contest and for joining us here for this live question and answer. And I'm just looking here really quick. A couple questions here about documents needed. Those are included in the Land Riches Blueprint course. We do include all the documents that we use. Best way to identify a saturated market, good market, bad market. Obviously, the biggest thing, again, I talked about there is comps, and seeing what's out there. And again, we do break that down in the Land Riches Blueprint course too. Somebody asked what the phone number is. Again, to call 980-357-4545. We will put that in the comments. And yeah, I think that's it for questions. So thank you all for your submissions. Thanks for joining us. And let me just tell you really quick, again, different levels here, because you've heard me mention a few different things. So again, you can start by going to YouTube. You can start by looking at our free land investing course that is out there. That obviously is going to give you the foundation and help you identify things a lot more clearer. If you are looking to really jump in, if you are looking for this A to Z information, this A to Z course, all of the documents that we use for all different side of our business, all of that different stuff, then that is available in our Land Riches Blueprint course. You can go to thelandmethod.com and you can see that option there for you. So it really depends on what you are comfortable with and what you're looking to do. And if you have questions about that, if you're not sure, again, feel free to reach out and we can break it down for you. 980-357-4545. We'll put a Calendly link in the comments as well, so that you can set up. You can do that if you want to reach out to us and have any conversations about that. But again, different things for different people based on where your needs are. But regardless of where your needs are, if you're just starting, if you're just looking, start with what's out there. We put so much out there for free. Go out there, look at that, and get going. I know there's other free information that's out there from others, and I'm not knocking that at all, but one of these say, well, there's other free courses and things like that. But yeah, there's free courses, but the problem is, they're not going to give you documentation. They're not going to do this. There's a lot of different things. So if you're looking for something that's more comprehensive, reach out. We could discuss that. If you're looking to get your feet wet, if you're looking to get started, if you need more information, if you need to build confidence, if you need anything like that, then please go to the YouTube channel and check out the free course. And again, we'll put that in the comments. So again, everybody, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for submitting all of these questions for our contest. For those of you that did, we answered these. In case you missed this, we have all of your emails, so we'll be emailing you as well, letting you know about this video. So again, thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us, and catch us next week for another